Welcome back. This is module 6 of capital investment. In this module, we are covering risks in capital budgeting. This is the second lecture of this module. In this lecture, we will cover behavioral approaches for dealing with risks. Now, in the context of capital budgeting, risks usually results from uncertainty about future cash inflows. And this is because we know the initial investment of a project, but future is uncertain. Therefore, future cash inflows of a project are also uncertain. So, there is always uncertainty with future revenues, expenditures, and taxes. Therefore, to analyze the risks of a project, the analyst needs to analyze riskiness of the cash inflows which are affected by revenues, expenditures, and future taxes. Now let's look at sensitivity analysis. For the purpose of sensitivity analysis, financial managers can make pessimistic, most likely, and optimistic estimates of cash inflows for their projects. Now, here is the sensitivity analysis here we are also doing the scenario analysis. Uh, in terms sensitivity analysis and scenario analysis are quite similar, but in case of scenario analysis, risks are analyzed uh, with respect to change in cash flows, change in revenues, change in weighted average cost of capital, and so on. Now here we have two projects, project A and project B. Initial investment for both projects is $10,000. However, their annual cash inflows based on the pessimistic, most likely, and optimistic condition are different. Say, for example, pessimistic cash flows for project A is $1,500, whereas for project B is completely zero. And if it is optimistic, project B provides much higher cash flows than project A. Now, if you calculate the range, which indicates the difference between lowest cash flow and highest cash flow, uh, you'll find that range of project A's cash flows are lower than project B's cash flows. So, as the range of project A's cash flow is only 1,000, whereas range of project B's cash flow A is $4,000. So, based on the range calculation of annual cash inflows, project B is riskier than project A. Now, with the 10% cost of capital and a 15 years life for each project, if we calculate the NPV, you will also find that for pessimistic cash flows, NPV of project A is 1,409, whereas NPV of project B is minus $10,000. And for the optimistic, project A's NPV is 9,015, whereas it is much higher for project B, that is 20,424. Now, if you look at the range of NPV for project A is much lower than NPV of project B. So, from here, based on the NPV, we can also say that project B is riskier than project A. Now let's look at what are the differences between or similarities between scenario analysis and sensitivity analysis. Both approach like scenario analysis and sensitivity analysis is a behavioral approach. So scenario analysis is very similar to sensitivity analysis, but scenario analysis is broader in scope. So if we analyze a project risk based on scenario analysis, we consider the change in a number of variables like change in cash flows, outflows, and cost of capital. And under each variable, we also calculate NPV for different set of variable assumptions. Say for example, uh, you can calculate NPV with a cost of capital of 10%, 12%, and 15%. So under different cost of capital, you can calculate the NPV of a project, and based on these different scenario, you can identify the riskiness of the project. That's all about this lecture. In our next lecture, we'll cover international risk considerations for capital budgeting.